Hey guys, today I am going to explain Lord of the Mysteries novel Volume 2, which is started after its anime Season 1 ended. Chapter 214, Land of Hope. A train whistle resounded in every corner of the station as a metal behemoth in the form of a steam locomotive came to a slow stop with more than 20 carriages in tow. Dressed in a tuxedo and half-top hat, Klein carried an exaggerated luggage bag that appeared incongruent with his figure. He took a firm step onto the ground of the Lone Kingdom's capital, Backlund. The city was divided into two regions by the Tusk River, which flowed southeast. The two lands were connected by the Backlund Bridge and ferries, with a population exceeding 5 million people. It was the most prosperous capital on both the southern and northern continents. Klein looked far into the distance and saw faint yellow smog everywhere. Visibility was terrible, and the gas lamps hanging above the train platform were already lit to dispel the gloom and darkness. "It's only 6, it looks like it's 9 or 10, Klein muttered to himself disdainfully. Suddenly he recalled a joke he read in the Tusk Times. A gentleman who just arrived in Backlund finds himself lost in the thick smog. Helpless, he asks a drenched gentleman passing by, "How do you get to the Tusk River?" The man replies, "Walk straight without stopping, I just swam from there." Every time Klein read back newspapers or magazines, he noticed reporters and editors mocking the polluted air, or the increasing number of foggy days in every conceivable way. Previously, the Backlund Daily Tribune even conducted statistics, and found that foggy days had increased from about 60 per year 30 years ago to 75 per year now. In response, many far-sighted people had established organizations such as the Soot Reduction Association and the Smoke Reduction Association. Apparently, a bill in September motioned the need to establish the National Atmospheric Pollution Council. Klein lowered his huge luggage bag and pinched his nose to relieve the sudden discomfort. Tracing his golden chain, he fished out a golden pocket watch from his vest pocket. He popped it open and checked the time. When he had truly bid farewell to his siblings, he had visited a department store and spent £410 solely to buy a golden pocket watch, matched with a golden chain worth 5 solely. The thought of not knowing the exact time filled him with a sense of horror. Klein had initially planned to buy a silver pocket watch, feeling it matched his temperament, but after considering the essence of a clown, he finally chose a showy golden watch instead. 6:39, it wasn't much later. Klein put away his pocket watch, held his cane and luggage bag, and slowly walked out of the steam locomotive station with the crowd. Suddenly he made a sharp turn, causing a person who had been secretly tailing him to fumble when reaching for his pocket. Klein remained unfazed and followed the cement-paved road into the crowd, arriving at an intersection in front of him. There was a lawn and garden circling a column resembling a chimney. Klein saw thick smoke spewing from its top end. Part of the smoke floated high into the sky, while part condensed into tiny droplets that scattered everywhere. Klein paused and placed his luggage down. He spread open the newspaper and map he had been holding, while on the steam locomotive he had already planned where he would go next. The experiences he had undergone, and the mental strain of disguising himself as a clown that morning made Klein understand the true essence of a clown. Although one may know a little about fate, one remains helpless against it. Therefore, it is better to hide all pain, sorrow, confusion, and depression behind a smiling face. At that moment, he felt the clown potion digest within him, believing that if he continued acting this way, it wouldn't take long for him to advance again. But there was a problem. He didn't know the name of the Sequence 7 potion nor its formula. How could he obtain it? The secret order seldom appeared, and they seemed interested only in items of the antagonist family. That was why others knew little about them. Klein considered two options: contact the local Beyonder circles to find clues, or set a trap using the antagonist family's treasure as bait to lure the secret order out. After all, he possessed knowledge of the strange vertical pupil formed from numerous mysterious symbols. But it was too risky. The bait couldn't be too valuable or too poor. Too poor and it wouldn't attract them, too valuable and he might attract a shark that could swallow him whole. The secret order's leader Zerat had guided Emperor Rossel and may have obtained the largest share of power during that revolutionary feast. He might not even still be alive, as that was 200 years ago. Amidst these thoughts, Klein shivered in Backlund's cold air. He decided to find a residence as soon as possible. Flipping through the papers, he browsed the rental section and saw a circled advertisement. 15 Minsk Street, Sherwood Borough, Terrace House, weekly rent 18 solely. Klein had carefully considered where to stay. Although Backlund had a population exceeding 5 million, he needed to avoid local nighthawks. Newly transferred individuals like Dolly or Lorada Iyer Harson and Burra could recognize him. Thus, Klein eliminated the North Borough, home to the Church of Evernight and St. Samuel Cathedral, as well as areas with the strictest security like Empress Borough and Western Borough, which housed nobles and magnates. He also eliminated poor worker areas near the harbor, East Borough, and Backlund Bridge. His remaining options were Hillston Backlund, the city's financial and economic center, or Sherwood Borough, with many small companies and residential buildings. Both areas were populous and had decent security. After serious consideration, Klein chose the cheaper Sherwood Borough. He avoided organizations like the Capital Housing Improvement Company because they required identification, which he could not provide. If I can't find a place to rent today, he thought, I'll find a motel that doesn't require identification for the night. Gathering his belongings, Klein followed the map toward what appeared to be a department store entrance, the Backlund Metro. Yes, a metro. The first time Klein read about it in newspapers, he nearly jumped in fright. He had never expected such a transportation vehicle in this era, which had not yet entered the age of electricity. The metro was born 25 years ago, initially connecting both banks of the Tusk River, and had since expanded to key city boroughs. Through the main door, Klein followed the crowd to the ticketing booth. After a few minutes, he reached a cashier with beautiful golden hair. She didn't raise her head, only pointing to a wooden board by the window displaying the prices. Peak period 7:09 p.m/8:00 p.m. 10-minute headway. 15-minute headway for all other times. First class seat 6p. Second class seat 4p. Third class seat 3p. Return trips 965p. Annual pass, first class £8, second class £5.10, third class not available. It's cheaper than I imagined, Klein thought. He revealed a brilliant smile, fished out 4p, and handed it to the cashier for a second class seat. The ticket was torn and stamped before being handed to him. After finding the line to Sherwood Borough and passing through the not-so-strict security checks, Klein descended the stairs to the platform. Following the labels on the ground, he located the area for second-class seats. Soon, he heard the chugging of the train and the thunderous steam whistle. A huge steam locomotive appeared, its massive black metallic body and complex machinery forming a unique beauty. Backlund's metro still used steam locomotives, and smoke was specially channeled through a pipe to a chimney above, contributing to the street's lawn and garden aesthetics. Amid the screeching metal, Klein waited for the passengers to alight before slowly carrying his cane and luggage on board. The conductor checked his ticket. Unlike third-class seats, second-class seats allowed one person per seat, so there was no concern about anyone taking it. Just as Klein sat down, stowed his luggage, and leaned on his cane, he heard hurried footsteps. Subconsciously, he looked toward the door and saw a thin, adolescent boy rush into the carriage. The boy wore an ill-fitting coat, a rounded top hat, and carried a ragged haversack. He kept his head low. "I'm sorry, I got on the wrong carriage. I'm from third class," the boy apologized, showing his ticket before briskly walking to the third-class carriage. Klein retracted his gaze and confirmed his destination, waiting for the doors to close. At that moment, he heard chaotic footsteps again and saw several men in black coats and half-top hats rush into the carriage. Were they chasing the boy? Klein instinctively wondered. He shook his head and returned to reading his newspaper and map just like the other passengers.